welcome to this very special Veteran Spotlight, which is presented by Mark Miller Subaru. Today's guest is Josh Napier, who is a major in the U.S. Army. Josh, thank you so much for coming on.
Glad to be here.
Sharing your story. First off, right away, got to say thank you for serving.
Sure.
Absolutely. Can you tell me a little bit about your role in the U.S. Army?
Sure. So I was in the medical corps. So I'm a physician. I was trained in the military. The military has a medical school out in Bethesda, Maryland, and so I did my initial medical school training there, and then went on to do a residency in internal medicine, also through the Army. Had the opportunity to serve in Iraq in 2010 as what we call a battalion surgeon. So I was the physician for our battalion, and it was the first of the 30th Infantry Battalion in the 3rd Infantry Division. And so I was the physician for our battalion, which is a group of about 1,000 soldiers.
Wow. Like you said, you have a mission to complete there.
Exactly.
And we do have some photos from your time in Iraq. Let's take a look at those right now, and maybe you could kind of comment as we see those. So yeah, let's start with this one right away.
Okay, so that was part of our group, of our medical group there in Iraq.
Seems like you guys had a pretty big team, though, of physicians and care providers, yeah?
Exactly. I was the only physician. There was our PA, who was kind of my right-hand man, and then a lot of our medics. So we had a lot of these concrete sort of barriers around the FOB, the forward operating base, and so this was on the way out. I think we were going from Kirkuk to Baghdad.
Okay.
In the back of a C-130.
C-130, yes,
which is a big,
huge transport plane.
Big transport plane, been used for decades in the military, and it was kind of a surprise to me at first that, hey, you're just going to get in the back of the C-130, you know, and so I thought, well, heck, I've got to take a selfie,
picture, right? Yeah, you got to capture that moment,
right?
Take
a picture of it to show the kids later on.
So let's talk about coming home now. What was it like to be in that environment for 9 to 10 months, you said, right? Mm-hmm. And then to come home back to family life. That's kind of a hard transition for a lot of veterans to leave an active combat zone and come back to the everydayness of just normal American life.
One of the things that struck me about being deployed overseas, you know, you're with a group of guys that you spend, you know, pretty much all day, every day with, and it's kind of a different society. It's a different way of living, you know, and a lot of the guys that I served with, the younger guys, had spent half their time in the military in Iraq. It can be difficult. You know, fortunately for me, I was able to go at a time of life where I had a family, you know, wife, kids, you know, sort of an established life back home, and so coming home I had a lot of support, and you
had a lot to look forward to
exactly
on your way
home.
So
transition, fortunately for me, wasn't as difficult, but I know that is something that our veterans struggle with, you know, even today. I transitioned over into a civilian practice as an internal medicine doc. We stuck around. Our last duty station was at Fort Leavenworth in Kansas. You know, interestingly, a lot of the people that I took care of outside of a deployed setting, you know, so at Fort Leavenworth, for example, were older retirees, and so medicine's the same, you know, across the board. So, but you know, having had the opportunity to serve, you know, it gives you perspective. You know, you see things that are going on still with our military, and you kind of understand what folks are dealing with there, and what we'll continue to deal with as everybody comes home.
Perfect. Well, we're blessed to have the Napier family here in Park City now. Thank you again so much for your service. Highly appreciated.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks again to Mark Miller Subaru for sponsoring this Veteran Spotlight. It was Josh Napier, Major in the U.S. Army, physician in the Medical Corps. That's it for today's Veteran Spotlight. Stay tuned. We'll have more next time.